We begin on the baseball diamond where the reigning American League champions are hotter than hot. The Cleveland Indians added a walk-off win to a streak that has had everything. Former Met Jay Bruce hit an RBI double in the 10th inning as the Indians rallied for their 22nd straight win to extend their AL record, beating the Kansas City Royals 3-2 on Thursday night to move within 4 wins of matching the 1916 New York Giants for the longest streak in Major League history. I bet Bruce is pretty good with the trade from the Mets midseason. You think? The Indians have won 22 games in a row and are eyeing a Major League record of 26. The Dodgers also snapped their double-digit losing streak this week. That could be a World Series matchup in the making. The Bronx Bombers overwhelmed the Baltimore Orioles Thursday night in their return to the BX. The Yankees won 13-5, backed by 2 more homers from Aaron Judge. Judge became the second Major League rookie to hit 40 homers. He now has 43. The 25-year-old joined Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, and Mickey Mantle as the only Yankees to hit 40 homers at age 25 or younger. Jacoby Ellsbury set a Yankee record too this past week. On his 34th birthday, no less, the outfielder set an obscure Major League record for catcher's interferences marks. He's certainly worth his very large contract now. Well, maybe not, but Jacoby has played much better this season for the Yankees. Mets rookie first baseman Dominic Smith entered September in a 7-for-50 slump, batting just .140 with only 3 extra base hits in 15 games. However, during 10 games and 42 plate appearances during the month of September, Smith is batting .289 with a .357 on base, 2 homers, 3 doubles, and 8 RBI. Nonetheless, the Amazons were no match for the suddenly hot Chicago Cubs. The World Series Cubbies, the reigning champs, of course, bested the Mets 14-6 Thursday night. The Mets will be in Atlanta for the weekend, while the Yankees continue their homestand with the Orioles. We also have a David Wright update. Just days after having his rotator cuff surgically repaired, the captain said he hopes to play next year if he responds well from the surgery. Japanese phenom Ohtani was called intriguing by Yankee manager Joe Girardi this week. He boasts a higher strikeout rate than Clayton Kershaw and better home run rate than Bryce Harper in Japan, of course. The question now is which big league team will let him play both ways? He's a slugger and a pitcher. Down on the farm, the Yankees are getting some terrific returns for the future. Prospect Dylan Tate is showing starter potential. He was acquired last season in the Carlos Beltran deal. The Trenton right-hander has restored his old delivery and his stuff has returned since he was a first-round pick. This year has been nothing short of magical for AA Trenton. The Yankees affiliate tied its own record with 92 wins in a season, won the Eastern League's Eastern Division, and on Friday night, Trenton made history with a combined no-hitter between left-hander Justice Sheffield and right-hander Taylor Widener. Sheffield threw the first 4 innings and Widener tossed the final 5 to complete the feat. They combined for 2 walks and 10 strikeouts. Meanwhile, the Yankees AAA team is playing in the Governor's Cup Finals against the Durham Bulls, eyeing a championship in AAA. The IndyCar title comes down to this weekend in Sonoma, and that was thanks to the race action 2 weeks ago in Watkins Glen. Here's more. Scott Dixon, Alexander Rossi is the new ruler of Watkins Glen. At least that was the story this year. Rossi won the 60-lap race at iconic Watkins Glen International from the pole position. On the same weekend it was announced he would return to Andretti Autosport next season.
To be able to do this today, to have a 12-lap shootout against Scott on the same equipment, starting 1 and 2 on the restart and being able to go and prove that I can beat him was pretty cool.
The 25-year-old Californian led a race-high 32 laps and drove the number 98 Napa Auto Parts Honda across the finish line and ahead of 4-time Glen winner Dixon.
Never raced Joseph really in a championship like this, and it's not just the 2 of us. I haven't seen the points clearly yet, but I imagine Elio is still there. I imagine Pagano is still there as well. So with double points, you can have a pretty hefty swing.
Ryan Hunter-Ray took 3rd to give Honda the sweep. Hunter-Ray and Rossi also gave Andretti 2 podium finishers.
It's always fun when you're dealing with a track that's changing conditions like that, because you have to search around and you can get big advantages or you can lose a lot of big disadvantages.
Rossi overcame a malfunctioning fuel probe on his 2nd pit stop. From there, Rossi laid down laps at near qualifying pace, regaining the lead on lap 29 and building an advantage of more than 12 seconds. Rossi kept Dixon at bay over the 11-lap dash to the finish.
With the fuel issue, I thought we were pretty much done. So we were fortunate, like I said, to have that yellow come out to where it negated those little things that had gone wrong. Today that we've done that, I think it's, again, another step in just internally and subconsciously proving to everyone on the team that we can do it and we have the capability, and it just makes hopefully those next wins and podiums come that much easier.
Don't count out Scott Dixon. He is among the greatest race car drivers the Indy Series has ever seen. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. NASCAR driver Danica Patrick says she will not drive for Stewart-Haas Racing after this season, telling fans in a note on her Facebook page, "My time driving for them has come to an end due to a new sponsorship arrangement in 2018. She did not reveal what her plans for next season would be. I would recommend a return to IndyCar. It would be great for her and for the sport." Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin goes down this weekend in Las Vegas. It should be the best boxing match of the year. I'll take the beefed up underdog Alvarez for the win. The UFC stripped John Jones of the light heavyweight championship title Wednesday following his positive drug test and reinstated Daniel Cormier as champion. Jones tested positive for a steroid prior to his July 29 title fight against Cormier, which he won in a third-round TKO. The second sample from Jones's failed test also came back positive Tuesday, and the Cormier fight was subsequently ruled a no contest by the California State Athletic Commission. The 30-year-old was previously banned for a year after failing a doping test in the run-up to a title fight against Cormier in July 2016. A group of self-described anti-racist protesters were escorted from Fenway Park on Wednesday night after draping a banner over the green monster that read, "Racism is as American as baseball." Tough times we live in these days. Former Knicks star Charles Oakley has filed a civil suit stemming from his run-in with MSG Security in February. The lawsuit includes several causes of action, including defamation, libel, and slander. The Knicks are reportedly getting closer to inking veteran guard Jarrett Jack, formerly of the Nets. Kristaps Porzingis and LeBron James are in an elite club. They are the only players in NBA history to amass 1,000 rebounds, 150 made threes, and 100 blocks in their first 2 seasons in the NBA. The list of players who've compiled 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 250 blocks, and 100 made three-pointers in their first 2 seasons is even smaller. It's just Porzingis. ESPN has Porzingis ranked number 22. Teammate Carmelo Anthony is not pleased with his ESPN rank after coming in at number 31 last year. Anthony plummeted out of the top 50 all the way to number 64, sandwiched between Boston Celtics guard Marcus Smart and Los Angeles Lakers guard Lonzo Ball, a rookie who's never played in the league. Anthony took to social media to air his frustration. Free agent center Tyler Zeller has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Brooklyn Nets. Zeller, 27, will compete for minutes behind the Nets' expected starting center Timofey Mozgov. From the WNBA hardwood, New York had won 10 straight. Connecticut had kept proving critics wrong, but the WNBA's 3rd and 4th seeds are out of the playoffs after getting upset at home last Sunday. Washington and Phoenix advanced in the semifinals. College football heads into week 3. Some early season surprises, including an Ohio State defeat to number 5 Oklahoma, 31-16 final there. Alabama, Oklahoma, Clemson, USC, and Penn State round out the top 5 of the top 25. They are all 2-0. Closer to home, Fordham football got crushed by Army 64-6 in the opener on September 1st. The Rams bounced back, though, with a 38-31 win on the 9th against Central Connecticut State. They'll have Eastern Washington in their home opener Saturday at Rose Hill. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. From the NFL gridiron, the Giants obviously missed Odell Beckham Jr. in their season opener. His bum ankle could also cause him to miss the Monday night home opener against the Detroit Lions. Odell says the injury is a 6 to 8 week thing. Sunday night marked Big Blue's first time failing to score a touchdown in week 1 since getting shut out by the Dallas Cowboys in 1995. Dallas is now 9-1 all-time against the Giants in season openers, with the only loss coming last season. Eli Manning didn't have a good night throwing the ball in the disappointing 19-3 loss to the Cowboys. The offensive line was terrible, not to make excuses. It was Manning's 200th consecutive regular season start, but the football gods are going to catch up with him if the offensive line doesn't find a way to create a pocket for him and let him get off his throws more cleanly. No matter how experienced the quarterback is, the first instinct is still self-preservation. It wasn't that Manning was hearing footsteps. He was actually seeing real 280-pound football players charging right at him. I was wrong about the Giants pick, but I still think Beckham would have been a difference maker in the opener, and his absence, if extended, could be a major problem for the football Giants. I was right about the Jets pick. Unfortunately, they fell in Buffalo in week 1. The Jets will keep their eyes out west, where UCLA's Josh Rosen and USC's Sam Darnold continue to look the part of star quarterbacks. Expect Gang Green to have a top pick this season. They are in Oakland this weekend. Sloane Stephens' remarkable rapid rise from a ranking of 957 in early August to U.S. Open champion began with the slow work of coming back from surgery on her left foot. After being off the tour for 11 months because of her injury, Stephens easily beat her close friend Madison Keys 6-3, 6-0 in the first Grand Slam final for both, becoming only the second unseeded woman to win the tournament in the Open era, which began in 1968. She also beat Venus Williams to reach the Open final. Rafael Nadal won his third U.S. Open and 16th Grand Slam title with a one-sided victory over South Africa's Kevin Anderson in New York. The world #1 powered to a 6-3, 6-3, 6-4 victory at Flushing Meadows. The Spaniard, now 31, has won 2 slams in the same year for the first time since 2013, having won the French Open in June. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for 2 interesting headlines from the world of sports radio. New York sports radio personality Craig Carton quit his dream job on WFAN Wednesday, saying he didn't want to be a distraction as he faces federal charges that he cheated investors to pay off gambling debts. Carton co-hosted Boomer and Carton with former NFL quarterback Boomer Esiason until his arrest last week on charges that he misappropriated at least $5.6 million from 2 investors. In a statement, he said, "Unfounded legal issues currently plaguing me will only be a distraction to everyone at WFAN and the show I helped build. I'm sad to see this chapter of my life close, but know that it will allow me to focus on my family, my well-being, and clearing my name while giving the show the best opportunity to succeed without further disruption," he said. He suggested that he would return someday to the airwaves. Carton quit a week after federal authorities arrested him, saying he used a Ponzi scheme to fool investors into giving him millions of dollars to pay off those gambling debts to casinos and elsewhere. Last weekend was some week for sports radio. Talk show host ESPN's radio host, Ryan Russillo, has to pay a $250 fine for drunkenly wandering into a stranger's apartment in the Wyoming resort town of Jackson. The case was closed after the fine was paid Wednesday in Jackson Municipal Court. Russillo was arrested for criminal trespass about 3:30 a.m. on August the 23rd after police were called about a drunken man refusing to leave their condominium. He has since publicly apologized on his radio show for his actions, saying he drank too much and mistakenly entered someone else's condo rather than his own hotel room. I just hate when that happens. Carton, who seems like he has a gambling problem, dug his own grave. If allegations are true, you won't be seeing or hearing from him in a very long time. As for Russillo, hopefully he's learned his lesson. Those radio guys, they got nothing on us TV guys. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.